Hello, coffee breakers. Welcome to the best virtual coffee shop in America. My name is Carlos Michael, your host, and this is Coffee Break with Carlos Michael. Today's episode, we will cover the show Designing Women, focusing on one specific episode. But first, let's coffee break. Hello again, and welcome back to page 1. Designing Women is an American television sitcom that aired from 1986 to 1993. One of my favorites, along with The Golden Girls. Created by Linda Bloodworth Thomason, the series revolves around the lives and careers of 4 women and 1 man working together at an interior design firm in Atlanta, Georgia called Sugarbaker and Associates. The 5 characters that made up the bulk of the show were Julia Sugarbaker, Suzanne Sugarbaker, Mary Jo Shively, Charlene Frazier, and Anthony Bouvier. Julia Sugarbaker, portrayed by Dixie Carter, was the elegant and outspoken owner of the design firm and Design Women. I just loved her character. Known for her sharp wit and fiery speeches, Julia stood out as a strong, principled woman who often addressed social and political issues head-on. Her impassioned monologues, which tackled topics such as feminism, racism, and homophobia, became iconic moments in television history, earning her a place in the hearts of viewers. My favorite was the one where she kept crashing into that sign because of the pornography stand, or the newsstand that was advertising pornography. I always thought that one was funny, but also very important, I think. Situation to be addressed. Suzanne Sugarbaker, played by Delta Burke, is Julia's younger sister, and she is known for her glamorous appearance and flamboyant personality, and was also characterized by her extravagant lifestyle, vanity, and often self-centered behavior. Despite these traits, however, she had moments of vulnerability and compassion, revealing a more complex character beneath her superficial exterior. Isn't that always the case? There's always a reason for something. Her beauty queen past was often a source of both pride and humor, with Suzanne frequently reminiscing about her pageant days and flaunting her numerous crowns and sashes. And of course, there was always the talk about her housemaid, Consuela. Okay. Mary Jo Shively, played by Annie Potts, is a talented, practical, pragmatic, and witty designer from Arkansas. Mary Jo, I was going to say Arkansas, but that's not very nice. Mary Jo was known for her quick wit and sharp tongue, often providing humor and wisdom in equal measure. What stood out most about her character was her resilience and resourcefulness as a single mother, navigating the challenges of balancing her career and personal life. Her character brought a relatable and grounded perspective to the show, often addressing issues of women's independence and the struggles of single parenthood. Charlene Frazier, portrayed by Jean Smart, was the naive yet lovable office manager at Sugarbaker and Associates. Hailing from Poplar Bluffs, Missouri, Charlene brought a sense of warmth and innocence to the series. Her character was often characterized by her endearing optimism, earnestness, and delightfully quirky personality. Charlene's sincere belief in the goodness of people and her unwavering loyalty to her friends were traits that endeared her to the audiences. She often shared heartwarming stories of her family and upbringing, providing a humorous yet poignant contrast to the more sophisticated personas of Julia and Suzanne. Her journey as a single woman navigating the complexities of love and relationships added depth to her character, making her one of the most relatable and beloved members of the ensemble cast. And I am proud to say I know somebody who actually is like the character of Charlene in Designing Women. She's just a real hoot. Love that woman. A lot of respect for her. Okay, next up, And finally, Anthony Bouvier, played by Meshach Taylor. He was an integral character in Designing Women, initially introduced as an ex-convict who takes on the role of delivery man for the firm. Anthony's character evolved significantly over the course of the series, which I was happy to see. His charming personality, intelligence, and hard-working nature quickly endeared him to the other characters and viewers alike. Now, what stood out most about Anthony was his journey of redemption and growth, something that's true for all of us, at least it was for me. Despite his past, he was determined to rebuild his life and prove his worth, becoming a trusted and valued member of the Sugarbaker team. His interactions with the women of the firm often provided comedic relief, but also moments of profound insight and empathy. Anthony's character addressed themes of second chances and resilience, making him a beloved figure in this series. Designing Women is celebrated for its sharp wit, strong character development, and its handling of social and political issues. The show tackled topics such as feminism, racism, and homophobia, often through the passionate speeches of Julia Sugarbaker, which have, for good or bad, become iconic in television history. Next, we move on to page 2, where we will delve into one episode of Designing Women that I believe was one of the most prominent, if not the most prominent episode, at least for me. We will discuss that right after the break.
According to IMDb, 2023, Designing Women was a groundbreaking American sitcom that aired from 1986 to 1993, created by Linda Bloodworth Thomason. Did you know that the show's creator based the character of Julia Sugarbaker, played by Dixie Carter, on her own mother? This series was also known for addressing social issues such as women's rights, AIDS, and homophobia, which was quite bold for its time. Furthermore, actress Delta Burke, who portrayed Suzanne Sugarbaker, received 2 Emmy nominations for her role. The show was a critical success and remains a beloved classic in television history.
Welcome back, listeners. As promised, today we delve into one of the most remarkable episodes of Designing Women. At least it was for me. The episode is titled The First Day of the Last Decade of the Entire 20th Century, Part 1, which is Season 4, Episode 14. This episode holds a special place in the hearts of fans, me included, and stands out for its poignant storytelling and the powerful message it conveys. And of course, having Dolly Parton appear in the episode didn't hurt. In this episode, Charlene goes into labor on New Year's Eve, a monumentous occasion that sets the stage for an evening filled with emotional depth and cultural reflection. As Suzanne and Mary Jo rush Charlene to the hospital, we are introduced to a subplot that adds a layer of historical and social commentary. At the hospital, Julia Sugarbaker encounters a 102-year-old Black woman who is nearing the end of her life. This incredible character, who goes by the name of Minnie, shares with Julia and the others her profound life experiences as a woman of color in the South. Her stories of resilience, perseverance, and the stark realities of racial discrimination serve as a powerful reminder of the progress made and the challenges that remain. The takeaway from Julia's encounter with Minnie is the profound impact of intergenerational dialogue. Intergenerational dialogue is a form of communication that involves individuals from different generations engaging in meaningful conversations about various topics. This practice is crucial for bridging generational gaps, fostering understanding, and promoting the sharing of wisdom and experiences. This form of dialogue plays a pivotal role in society by enabling the transfer of knowledge and values from older to younger generations and vice versa. It helps address social issues by incorporating diverse perspectives and promoting empathy and cooperation. By engaging in these dialogues, individuals can learn from each other's experiences, leading to a more inclusive and connected community. These conversations ensure that the lessons learned and the wisdom gained from past experiences continue to shape our actions and our beliefs. Minnie, who was played by Bea Richards, 1920 to 2000, is a 102-year-old Black woman who Julia Sugarbaker encounters at the hospital. Minnie's character is significant due to her profound life experiences as a woman of color in the South. Now, she shares her stories of resilience and perseverance, offering a poignant reflection on the stark realities of racial discrimination. Her narrative serves not only as a reminder of the progress made, but also of the challenges that remain in the quest for racial equality and justice. Minnie's interaction with Julia underscores the necessity of intergenerational dialogue, bridging the gap between past and present. Her wisdom and experiences offer insights that are both sobering and inspiring, emphasizing the importance of honoring those who have lived through tumultuous times and continuing the struggle for a better future. When I watched as these scenes played out, the interaction between Julia and Minnie, and how drawn in Julia was to everything Minnie was conveying, all I could say was, I have had the privilege and honor to know a couple of Minnies in my day, and I know how much I loved them and enjoyed hearing their life stories, which led to this question. What is the one way we could honor the life and legacies of the Miss Minnies in our lives? According to Microsoft's Copilot, one way of honoring their life and legacy would be to actively engage in and promote intergenerational conversations about racial equality and justice. By sharing their stories and lessons with younger generations, we can ensure that their experiences and the wisdom gained from them continue to inform and inspire future generations. The episode masterfully juxtaposes the birth of a new life, the birth of Charlene's daughter, with the reflections on a life lived through tumultuous times, the passing of Miss Minnie. This contrast highlights the cyclical nature of life and the ongoing struggle for equality and justice. The conversation between Julia and the elderly woman bridges the gap between past and present, offering insights that are both sobering and inspiring. It underscores the necessity of remembering and honoring the experiences of those who came before us while continuing to strive for a better future. Additionally, the episode reinforces the show's commitment to addressing social issues head-on. Designing Women was never shy about tackling controversial subjects, and this episode is a testament to the show's bravery and relevance. Through heartfelt performances and thought-provoking dialogue, the episode encourages viewers to reflect on their own beliefs and actions regarding race and equality. In conclusion, the first day of the last decade of the entire 20th century, Part 1, is a standout episode of Designing Women that exemplifies the show's ability to blend humor, drama, and social commentary. It reminds us of the power of storytelling in fostering understanding and empathy. Thank you for joining us today. Stay tuned for more insightful discussions on your favorite shows and episodes. But for now, let's move on to page 3.
Bea Richards was a highly accomplished actress, poet, and playwright whose career spans several decades. Born on July 12, 1920, in Vicksburg, Mississippi, Richards broke barriers in the entertainment industry with her powerful performances and dedication to civil rights. One of her most notable roles was in the film Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, 1967, where she portrayed the mother of Sidney Poitier's character and received an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress. Her performance was lauded for its depth and emotional resonance, reflecting her ability to bring complex characters to life. In addition to her film work, Richards had a prolific career in theater and television, earning accolades for her contributions to the arts.
Welcome back. This is page 3. In this short story, A Reunion Beyond Time, the narrative unfolds with a poignant and ethereal encounter that bridges the gap between past and present, life and death. Set in the same hospital where Rosemary Sugartaker once met the indomitable Denny, the story weaves a tapestry of memories and spiritual connection that transcends the mortal realm. 40 years after their first meeting, Rosemary, now gracefully aged, revisits the corridors that hold profound significance in her life. It is here that she encounters Denny, that's with a D, once more, now a luminous presence guiding souls. The story delves into themes of resilience, the enduring impact of shared histories, and the timeless nature of wisdom and guidance. Rosemary's journey through the hospital becomes a metaphor for her passage through life, enriched by the lessons imparted by Denny. The narrative masterfully juxtaposes the vibrancy of Rosemary's spirit with the serene, outwardly aura of Denny, creating a touching and reflective exploration of life's cyclical nature. A Reunion Beyond Time invites listeners to reflect on the connections that shape us, the legacies we honor, and the spiritual bonds that remain unbroken by time. It is a testament to the power of storytelling, memory, and the enduring influence of those who touch our lives in profound ways. Coffee Breakers Across America, A Reunion Beyond Time.
It had been exactly 40 years since that memorable encounter at the hospital. Rosemary Sugartaker had aged gracefully, her hair now a soft silver, but her spirit remained as vibrant as ever. She found herself walking through the familiar corridors of the same hospital where Darlene's baby had been born, and where she had the privilege to hear a dying woman's story about life in the South as a woman of color, who was as joyful on her deathbed as she was in life. As Rosemary turned the corner, her eyes caught sight of a figure she had thought about often. Denny, the same dignified woman she had met decades ago, stood there, her presence as commanding and serene as ever. But there was something ethereal about her now, a glow that spoke of a different realm. "Ms. Denny?" Rosemary's voice was filled with awe and disbelief. Denny, aware that she would encounter Rosemary that day, turned and smiled, her eyes twinkling with the same warmth and wisdom Rosemary remembered. She reached out, taking Rosemary's hand gently into her own. "Rosemary, my dear," Denny said, her voice resonant and soothing, "it's so good to see you again." "I can't believe it's you," Rosemary whispered, her eyes moist with emotion. "How?" Denny, now a caretaker of souls, had returned to help guide those who remained tethered to their earthly ties. She had transcended beyond the mortal coil, yet chose to walk alongside those who needed some guidance. They stood there, the bustling hospital around them fading into the background. Time seemed to stand still as the two women, bonded by their shared history, reconnected. "Denny, the stories you told me, the lessons you shared, they have stayed with me all these years," Rosemary said, her voice trembling with gratitude. Denny looked deeply into Rosemary's eyes, her gaze penetrating and soulful. "Tell me, Rosemary, what would you say was your greatest lesson learned in life based on the life story I shared with you 40 years in the past?" Rosemary took a deep breath, reflecting on the decades that had passed. I learned that the strength to persevere and the courage to fight for justice are the greatest gifts we can offer to the world. Your stories of resilience and dignity in the face of adversity taught me that our history and experiences shape our present and future. It's about honoring those who came before us by continuing their legacy of love, strength, and justice. Denny's eyes shone with pride. You've understood the heart of it, Rosemary. Our stories are threads in the fabric of time, weaving together the past, present, and future. By remembering and honoring those who fought and endured, we keep their spirit alive and inspire the generations to come. Rosemary squeezed Minnie's hand, feeling a profound peace wash over her. Thank you, Denny, for everything. Denny nodded, her smile radiant. And thank you, Rosemary, for carrying the torch of hope and truth. As they stood together, the hospital around them seemed to regain its activity, the moment of transcendence gently fading. But the bond between them remained, an unbreakable connection that transcended time and space. Rosemary watched as Minnie moved gracefully down the corridor, her figure becoming more translucent with each step until she finally disappeared, leaving behind a sense of calm and purpose. Rosemary stood there for a moment longer, her heart full of gratitude and resolve. She knew that Denny's legacy would continue to guide her, just as it had for the past 40 years. And with that, she walked forward, ready to continue her journey with the lessons of the past lighting her way. Rosemary passed away peacefully in her sleep. Sometime after midnight, 1 week to the day when she saw Denny at the hospital. Her journal was at her side, the pages opened to the following entry. Journal entry 243,112. Wednesday, December 31st, 2024. Time, 11:30 p.m. Today marks a full circle in my life's journey, a day weighted with profound reflection and gratitude. It was 40 years ago, in this very hospital, that I first encountered Denny, a woman whose strength and wisdom would come to profoundly shape my understanding of life. Back then, she was on her deathbed, her body frail but her spirit unyielding. It was in those final moments that she shared with me stories that would serve as the bedrock of my resilience and moral compass. Returning to this hospital today, I felt an overwhelming sense of déjà vu. The sterile smell of antiseptic, the distant hum of medical equipment, the soft murmur of voices, all of it transported me back to that pivotal day. But today, there was a sacred serenity in the air, a palpable sense of destiny. As I stood by her side once more, her presence was as comforting and commanding as it had been decades before. Denny asked me to recount the greatest lesson I had learned from her, and as I spoke, tears welled up in my eyes. I told her how her stories of perseverance and justice had given me the courage to fight my own battles and to stand up for others. Her pride in my words was evident, and I felt a deep connection, an unspoken understanding that transcended time. We spoke of the threads that weave our histories together, the importance of remembering and honoring those who came before us. Denny's gaze was penetrating, her eyes full of life and wisdom, even as her figure began to fade. When she finally disappeared down the corridor, I felt a sense of calm and purpose wash over me. I knew then that her legacy would continue to guide me, just as it had over the past 40 years. As I sit here now, writing this entry, I feel a profound peace. Denny may no longer be with us in body, but her spirit lives on, inspiring me to carry the torch of hope and truth. I am ready to continue my journey with Denny's lessons lighting my way. With love to God and gratitude for a life lived, Rosemary.
Well, that's it for this episode of Coffee Break with Carlos Paco. I hope you enjoyed today's content. Remember to love God with all your everything, heart, mind, body, and soul. Remember that the mercy of Christ is available to anyone who asks for it. Don't forget to be a great neighbor. Why? Because great is always better than good. If you see a need and can help, don't think about it, just do it. Credit to Father Michael Schmitz for that. Until next time, my friends, God bless.